Do you want to keep failing funded assessment after funded assessment in hope that you're going to get paid out? You already know that there's under a 1% chance that you will get paid out from your funded assessment. Why is that? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why you're doing it, how you can avoid it, and more importantly, how we've been able to achieve such incredible results on our in-house fund. We have traders now that have kept their accounts for over a year that are in profit. There's a reason why we've been able to get traders to get funded, stay funded, and build an actual pathway to quit their job, go full time, and actually make this a reality. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you're going wrong, but more importantly, how you can apply what I'm about to teach you on your own path and how you're getting funded in your own route. Right guys, so we're going to kick things off with our in-house fund. We don't talk about this a lot because it's exclusively for our members. Now, many people ask, can I have access to the fund? It's exclusively for Falcon members. Now, we are in the process of opening this up to the outside world. However, only for people that have gone through the Rewired program. I'm going to get to that towards the end of this video, and this is going to teach you so much from behind the scenes as to where your issues are going wrong with funding anyway. I'm going to share some nuggets with you. However, this is designed for our members because we're training them and we're incredibly proud of our stats. When you look at the industry standards, it's roughly about under 1% chance that you'll get paid out, where our stats are so far different, it's insane. And I'm going to go over as to why that is. You're essentially about 30 times more likely to be paid out on our in-house fund. Is it because we have this holy grail strategy? No, it's not because of that. And it's not for me to devalue our strategy. Our strategy is robust, it's phenomenal, it's been tested for over 30 years, but it's not because we have some secret sauce. It's much more than that I'll go into. So of course, this is our fund. Just some key things that you need to understand as to why I personally believe we've been able to achieve such great success. So how long do you have to pass the assessment phase? Now you have up to 1 year to do so. Now, what have you seen recently? You've seen recently people go to no time limits. We were pretty much the first ones, to my knowledge, the first ones to have a longer period of time, because we're not in the business to get people to keep doing funded assessments. We actually care about our students. You will not find a trace of people doing 10, 12, 15 assessments in our fund. To go for our average stats, the average trade will pass on our in-house fund within 3 to 6 months, and we'll do 2 assessments, our average. Some people will have done 4 or 5, but very few and far between. The average person that is passing is literally doing a couple of assessments and is passing within 3 to 6 months, which means they're not rushed, they've got good emotional control, and they're doing it deliberately. They're not fluking assessments. That's the difference. So we was way ahead of the curve before all of this started to come into play. Now, what's the maximum drawdown? 5% relative drawdown, and then into fixed drawdown. This is why we recommend before people go through this and become a portfolio asset manager, they stick to 0.5% risk as just a tactic. It gives them more of a buffer, and of course, it's been producing phenomenal results, so we're not going to change that. Again, 7% with 30 active trading days. Very, very simple. It's not some crazy profit target. The good thing about this is that you can relax with your trading. You can follow the plan. You're not forcing anything. And at the same time, once you're at 7%, even from our 15K account, so let's say, for example, you started off with 15K, you hit 7%, that goes up to 60. And from literally 15K to roughly just under 50% of total percentage made, you're at around 960K. So you can get to a high level of capital sustainably within our fund, and you don't have to hit ridiculous figures. And the reason why we're so confident with that is because we train them in the right way, right? So what is the max capital with our fund? What we specify here is 7 figures. However, we can actually go more than that. It just becomes very bespoke after that. But I'm a big believer in this. Even if we had 7 million on there or 4 million, it doesn't matter. Your goal should be, how can I get to my next step? Stop fantasizing over how much money can I trade. Focus on trading 6 figures first, scale up in the right way, keep the funding, build the confidence, and you're going to make money anyway. So it doesn't matter. I don't think that's a stat that should be important to you. When you're trading high 6 figures, your life changes automatically anyway, but it's more important that you sustain it in the first place. This is our private Discord. So for those that are on our in-house fund, this is where we share our achievements and things like this. This is our, of course, in-house certificates. So again, I'm just going to quickly go through that. We have a very, very supportive community. And the reason why I personally believe we've been able to achieve such great results is because, yes, our strategy is great, but again, I don't think it's the secret sauce. I don't think that is the case for any strategy that is, but more importantly, it's our approach. The timeline is of course going to play a factor in that, but more importantly, the level of mindset training that we do, everything that's in place ensured to actually keep people scaling up and be in a position where they succeed. I mean, I'm just flowing through here, but what it does is it gives people an outlet to be able to get to a position where they're funded, but they can stay funded, but communicate. You know, life is not just about getting a funded account. It's about how do you sustain that. But let me just explain a stat here. Now, this is from, you know, my Forex funds regularly releasing stats. The question you've got to ask yourself is that, do you want to take the odds? Because look at these stats, they're crazy. So what we've got highlighted here is this. So you essentially have a 0.28% chance of having a payout, literally 0.28% chance. Now, I don't have the stats on here right now, but generally speaking, and this is across some of the largest funded firms, even traders that get their record payouts. So let's say you do happen to get a 10K, 20K withdrawal, or whatever it is, they're statistically likely to lose that account within a couple of months anyway. And what does that show you? That shows you a lack of emotional control. Getting funded is one part. The next stage is making sure you don't just give that account back. How are you going to build a lifestyle? How are you going to build a future that way? With our fund, right, to just quickly go back to, so with our fund, if you scale up to, let's say, I'd call it 500K. Let's say you've hit $500,000, you've got a decent amount of capital, and for whatever reason, you go through an unfortunate sequence of losses, but we can see that this is not a reckless trader. It just so happens it was a bad period. Any competent trader can go through a streak of losses, right? We understand that. We can look at that independently and go, this wasn't reckless, and we can reinstate your account, sometimes at the full account, and then we will of course use our own discernment to see what is ready. But we can have that conversation and go, right, you was trading $500,000, everything was fine, all the trades here are actually really solid, you just hit a really bad sequence, which can happen to any trader. So what we're going to do is that we're going to start you off at 240, for example, and then look, you're 10% away, you'll be on $500,000 again. And what that does is that gives you the peace of mind and confidence. Do you think you can do that with a third-party fund? They don't know you, they don't owe you anything. You're just going to start at zero. So again, how much is that worth to you to have that security? So for those of you asking, can I have access to the fund? Are you going to open it to the outside world? No, we're going to only have it for our members. So we've worked incredibly hard to be able to achieve these stats, and we just want to keep moving forward. That's it. Our goal has never been, how do we get people from the outside? We're not interested in that. We're interested in making sure that people that come through our ecosystem, they have the best possible chance to succeed and keep that success. We are entertaining Rewired, and the reason why, which brings me to that really quickly, the reason why we're entertaining that is that we know there's other traders out there that are genuinely competent with their strategy. So whether you trade ICT, SMC, I mean, I've lost count of all the names, but listen, if you trade that, you trade Elliott Wave, or you trade supply and demand, or you've got an indicator-based system, it doesn't matter. You know, system is one part of it. We are open-minded to that, but only open-minded to people that have gone through the program, because we know there is a high correlation. I'll give you a stat. Over 95% of our traders that are funded on our in-house fund have gone through this program. There's a reason why those people that have got to the next stage are going through Rewired and achieving such great results. We recently opened Rewired to the outside world, and we've seen a phenomenal amount of results of people trading systems like supply and demand, SMC, ICT, etc. It's because it's given them the framework to behave and think like a profitable trader. Now, you want to make sure that you're not in these stats. Do you really want to take those odds? Imagine being the person where, you know, you're going through 10, 20, 30 assessments. This is not one of these things, because what have we just become gamblers now, where we've normalized this idea to just keep taking assessment after assessment, roll the dice, and you'll be absolutely fine. It doesn't work like that. You cannot get down 7 times, stand up 8. This is not one of those scenarios. This is not a boxing ring. This is you understanding, right, why did I lose? Was it intentional? Was it unfortunate sequence of losses? Was it probabilities? There could be loads of variables as to why you're losing. However, you need to assess your approach. I'm not going to let someone do 10, 20 assessments. Like, I have a duty of care to our students to not recklessly be, assessment after assessment. And we would just never do that. And that's one thing that you're going to have, and you can have that trust within us that we would never do that, because we genuinely care about you succeeding. Our funding stats are ridiculously good, and they're going to stay good because I have always promoted the right type of mindset. I have always given people the pathway, like, this is the way to do it. This is how you're going to do that. And people that have trusted me and followed my advice, they're in a very good position for a reason, because I've got 15 years experience and I know my shit, because I've been doing this longer than most people. There's people at 15, 16 years old trying to teach people on TikTok. I've been in this industry as long as they've been alive. That's the difference. You've got people that have been in this industry for 3 years and now they're an educator. You've got zero experience, in my opinion. You've not sustained anything. How are you then going to transfer the right type of knowledge for people to be able to build a long-term career? It makes no sense whatsoever. So I have a duty of care to be able to tell people, you should not be normalizing and being, right, it's going to take me 30 assessments, but I'm not going to give up. This is a ridiculous mindset. You do not need to waste thousands and thousands on challenges and treat it like a lottery ticket. You don't want to be a gambler, you want to be a professional. This helps you think like that. So let's avoid these stats. Listen, they might get better over the time, but again, even if it was a 2% chance, imagine explaining that business plan to your friends, saying, right, I'm going to do this. I'm learning to trade. This is my approach. I'm buying funded assessments, and there's roughly, a 2% chance that I'll get paid out, and I'm just going to keep going for assessment after assessment after assessment until I get a payout. That's going to be my approach. You would never say that. They would think you're ridiculous. They would say, so you have no plan then, you're just a gambler. You've not actually assessed your approach and maybe thought, do you have the right, are you treating trade like a business? Do you have the right mindset? Is everything in place? Are you organized? Are you structured? Are you aware of your emotional control? Like, what else? Have you got your finances? Do you have financial literacy that most people don't have? And most traders don't, which is why they're in the position of carrying on losing. So you want to avoid that part. But this is Rewired, right? So this is actually beyond Rewired. We recently launched that. We've just launched our early bird, by the way. So check the links in the description. You literally have just a few days to be able to secure it at the early bird price before we go to the full price. If you get in now, you'll have access to absolutely everything for a lifetime. After that, the lifetime passes have gone. The reason why we actually had a deadline last week, but the reason why we've been able to give people the early bird price now is because there was many people that genuinely, and some of these people I know personally, that wanted to get in before the deadline but couldn't because they was waiting to be paid. I didn't want to penalize those people that are genuinely serious about doing that just needed an extra 5 days. So I've given you the last opportunity. Don't ask me again. I've given you this opportunity. The link's in the description. If you want to access it and you want to secure the entire thing, you can do that now, but you've got a few days left to be able to get that, but you have it for life. And the reason why the lifetime is important is because we're always innovating, we're always bringing new things. Those that know me, I've been in this game for, openly teaching people for about 7 years now. I've always gone above and beyond because I care about people doing well, which is why our systems are all structured that way. So anything that we produce in the future, you've got full lifetime access. So get involved in your series. Don't be that person that is, wasting. What are you going to do? Waste another $3,000 on funded assessments till you realize that maybe I need to actually take care of this part. So this is beyond Rewired section. We have a section dedicated to funding, by the way, right, which is these modules here. However, the mindset part, it doesn't matter about, and I want to leave you with this, right? It doesn't matter what you think the ratio is. So some people will say, right, is it 90% psychology, 10% technicals, or is it 80-20, is it 70-30? Even if you was to say, Mark, I don't agree that it's 80-20 or this. Doesn't matter. Let's say it's 50-50 then. If we just went straight down the middle, which we know it's not, but let's say it was 50-50. You've got to ask yourself, how much time and resources do you allocate to working on your mind? Probably about 5%. But you might say, Mark, I've read Trading in the Zone, Market Wizards, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, all these mindset books. Where has that got you exactly? There's a reason why we have such a high correlation to people going for Rewired and why they've been able to get funded and stay funded and break through limiting beliefs. There's people that are trading different systems to us that have been stuck at 100K, 200K that are now trading over 500,000. What, you think that's a coincidence? It's not. It's so cheap right now. People can't even comprehend what they're getting in the Rewired program for the price. Not only is it going to increase your performance in trading, it's going to help you in life. And there's a reputation on the line. When do you see people talking bad about Rewired? They don't, because they get results. And this is just beyond Rewired. It's just come out. You've seen the impact of the original core training modules, right? You've not seen the impact of what this is going to do. And there's so much within here. And again, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I just wanted to explain this metric here. I personally believe it's more towards 80-20 if we're going to be really fair, because most people mistake us and think, oh, you focus so much on psychology, you don't think technical is important. That's not the case at all. I think technicals are extremely important. I think you should know your technicals like the back of your hand. You should be extremely competent on the charts and know your price action or however you're trading, because most people, they have really, really average technicals, but they have a very, very bad, poor mindset. The goal is to fuse them together. If you don't have a circuit that's working together, it's going to be difficult for you to sustain results. I'm not saying that you won't be able to produce any results without mindset work, but you won't sustain it. And it's why you're in the position that you're in. So again, if you want to take yourself seriously, get it now. It'd be one of the best decisions that you make. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us. Happy to answer it. Happy to speak to all of our students that are going through it. But we're building an incredible community here. We had our first official Rewired meetup last week, launching Beyond Rewired. It was exceptional to see traders from all different strategies connect, where it's not this Forex, war as they're like, my strategy is better than yours. It's got none of that bullshit. We don't care about that. We share a common goal, right? Psychology unites us. At the end of the day, we all want to level up and we want to succeed. How you interpret the charts, that's completely your own prerogative. That's up to you. But emotionally, you want to have the emotional control to be able to trade at high amounts of capital. Do you really want to be that trader that's anxious trading 400k and in fear the whole time that you might lose it? Where are you going to build a life that way? It's not going to work. So again, I really hope this has given you a bit of a wake-up call and more of a holistic perspective on how we've been able to achieve these figures. If you really have the right framework in front of you, it's virtually impossible for you not to succeed, however you're looking at the charts.